Hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here. And yeah, got a double feature for you tonight. We got Let's Scare Jessica to Death and Ninja, the Violent Sorcerer. Because those are words you throw together. Alright, so let's do this, shall we? Let's get into it. Starting off first, we got Let's Scare Jessica to Death, 1971, I believe. And the basic premise of this, I'm not gonna lie, I recommend both movies. Just spoiler alert on that. But these are old films. We'll have to do some spoilers and give a proper review. So if you haven't seen these movies, and it's not like something you may want to watch, I recommend just turn this off right now. Hit stop. I'll be here when you get back. I promise you. Just hit stop right now and check them both out because they're both on YouTube. However, there's your warning. Spoiler ahead. I'm gonna just go ahead in my review. All right, so Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Jessica's a young girl who, they don't go into detail, but you can tell she has some kind of a mental breakdown, some kind of episode, and that she was probably hospitalized for it. So, her and her husband and a mutual friend are taking her out to the countryside. It's on a little island, and they take a ferry across, or a ferry to get across there and everything, and to kind of help her, I guess, adjust, back to normal life. So they go out there, and of course she starts witnessing things, seeing things, and you're wondering, like, is it in her head? Is it not? That's kind of the basic premise. So to expand upon that, let me go ahead and throw it in there. First off, let me just say that the look of this movie, I love. It has like very low budget, gritty 70s look. The look of it reminded me a lot of like Don't Look in the Basement, Silent Night, Bloody Night, maybe even a little of Last House on the Left. I mean, it just has a very real, damn near like documentary style look to it. Like, it's very legit. I love it. The acting, of course, it's a horror movie. I don't really judge, unless it's just atrociously bad, but it's passable. It's passable. What I love about this movie is, from the title and just the description I gave you, I assumed it was going to be more along the lines of, we've seen stories like this before, movies and whatnot, where clearly, someone is seeing ghosts or whatever, and of course, no one around believes them. They're like, "Oh, you're crazy, you're in your head," and it keeps getting worse and worse, and finally she snaps, and of course, the end result kind of goes different ways, but you realize toward the end that people are actually trying to drive somebody nuts. That's just, and usually it's money related, or, greed's a factor, or just whatever the case may be. So I assume it's what this was, because, you hear the plot, and then, of course, the fact that the movie's called Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Meaning, like, hey, this is a sentence someone's saying to someone else about Jessica. Let's scare her to death. That seems like already there's a plot in place to scare Jessica to death. So I just assumed this is what it was going to be. I had no idea about anything about this movie other than that. Like, I just do the plot and what it's called. I did know it was kind of a big deal. Sort of. It's like a hidden gem classic. It's one of those movies that I've heard a lot, or some people talk about, and the people who do talk about it give it high praise. They're like, this is just fucking brilliant, blah, blah, blah. But you don't hear anyone talk about it. It's a lot like Carnival Souls, which is one of my personal favorite films, and whenever you read any of the reviews about Carnival Souls, it's always, it's, one of the best movies ever made, one of the best movies of the 60s, blah, 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 but no one's talking about it. Like, the people who watch it love it. And it has that small cult following. But that's it. Like, no one else today is talking about it or anything like that. And that's what this movie, kind of reminded me of as far as, its status, I guess, among the horror community. So, once again, that's my thing going into it. So, right off the bat, we're in a cemetery, and the girl, Jessica, is, running around, and she sees the girl just stand there in the cemetery. And in her mind, because she has a lot of voiceovers throughout this whole thing, a lot of narration, a lot in her mind kind of stuff. She's like, don't tell them you see it. Don't tell them you see it. And I love that, because that's one thing that's crazy is in our society, we all want everybody to be open. Hey, just tell the truth. Tell us, But then as soon as you say something that is truth to you, like you're seeing ghosts, or, you're hearing voices or whatever, automatically now it's like, oh, you're crazy. Thank you for telling us the truth, but guess what? Now you're going to the loony bin. And I love that, because now she's seeing something, and it's like, what do? Do you tell anybody you're seeing this? Because you know as soon as you say anything, you're going right back, to the asylum. So that's kind of the first struggle she has, is like, she sees things, but she don't really want to, say it. Of course, she goes back, and of course, she don't say nothing. They get to the house, and she sees someone on the stairs, and of course they run off. But this time, other people see it too. And that was kind of a cool little moment, because it's almost like, in most horror movies, you get that, where, there's someone here, I swear, and everybody's like, no, there wasn't no one there. But here they all see it, and just the look of relief on her face, because, here she is thinking she's going mad again, but they see it too. Turns out it was a young girl named Emily, and she's just kind of squatting. She's just kind of, sleeping in the house or whatever. So she's going to leave, but they invite her to stay. One of the guys definitely has a hard-on for her, so they keep her there. I won't go through this movie beat by beat. I'm just going to hit the important parts. They find out that the previous owners of the house, there were some murders there, and legend had it that the girl who was there was a vampire. That's just the legend of the house. Thing is, now she's starting to suspect, could Emily be a vampire? And of course, no one's going to believe her and whatnot. Now, with that even there, into the movie this far, I'm like, okay, clearly that's what they're going to use to drive her mad. Without going into like every single scene, it turns out, no, she is a vampire. Now, it's a different kind of vampire. That's one thing too. When people say vampires, there is a distinct look, I guess, a mainstream feel to vampires. Like, they can't go out in sunlight. Those are the basic core. But, the criteria to be a vampire. But there are several different types throughout the history of film. Martin comes to mind as, kind of a off the beaten path kind of vampire. Fucking hate it, but, also off the beaten path was, the Twilight films. They kind of, they were allowed to go out in the sunlight because they would sparkle a little bit. And this one's kind of the same way. It's, the vampirism's a little different, and it's not quite fully defined. Like, you don't really know the rule, I guess. Because you're just witnessing what's happening right here to Jessica in this small amount of time. This movie is, the events of this movie is all you see. You don't see what's outside of here. And I like that. That's another thing I really like about this movie. They don't dumb it down and try to explain everything to you, because, they're like, fuck it. You do some thinking yourself. You figure it out. And I like that. I love the ambiguousness of it. That's a word I always stumble over. I'm skipping. Fuck it. So, anyways, you find out she actually is a vampire of sorts. The crazy thing is, there's a scene where, when they get into the town, like, it seems like there's nothing but old people, like old men. That's all you see is, like, the town folk is just old men. And they just kind of have this hatred to the young couple, Just, that standard, like, get out of our town, you young hippies, or whatever. But what you find out is when you realize that, in fact, Emily is a vampire, that all these people have, like, this kind of scar. Not the 2 bite marks that you're used to, but literally like someone cut them with a knife or something and was drenched in blood that way. And they all have that. And later on, they end up killing the mutual friend, but they turn, I don't know if they turn to a vampire or not, but they definitely turn her boyfriend or her husband against her. And he has the same scar right there on his neck. And once again, it's never stated if, in fact, they are vampires or if they're just a bunch of psychopaths who like to cut each other. And because the ending scene is Jessica's trying to get away, everybody, all these fucking, vampires are chasing her, and she gets on a rowboat because she goes back to the ferry, but then the ferryman, he has a big scar on his neck as well, and you realize, oh shit, he's in on this too. She gets on a rowboat and she starts to run away, and of course they stop at the shore and they're just watching her. It's, Emily and, a ton of these old guys. But then, of course, her husband's swimming after her. He jumps out of the water to come get her, and of course she ends up killing him. Just basically, she ends up like putting like a harpoon, or I don't know, she sticks him with something, and he goes back into the water, and he's dead. So once again, you don't know if they were ever truly vampires, or if it was just psychopaths like to drink blood. Never explained, and I'm okay with that. I like that. Leave a little bit to the imagination, Really like this movie. I highly recommend it. If I had one complaint, if I'm going to bitch about one thing, it was the score. Now, the score wasn't bad. It was a decent score. It was the fact that early on in the movie, you know, once again, up until about the halfway mark, or maybe a little past that, I'm still kind of wondering, like, you know, okay, I never thought they were actually vampires or whatever. I just honestly assumed that they were just plotting, like they were all plotting against, you know, Jessica to make her, you know, go insane. But every time Emily would say something early on, like even the first couple scenes, she would say something, the music would just get all ominous for no fucking reason. Like at one point, they're just like, because she, you know, she's saying she's gonna, you know, leave, and the other guy, the other love interest, you know, the third wheel in the group, you know, he's like, well, after this, I'm gonna, you know, try to find a place to live, and she's like, well, you shouldn't go too far. And he's like, well, I thought you was leaving too. And she's like, oh no, I'm gonna stay around for a little bit. Dun dun dun. You know, it's like this ridiculous music cue, this ominous music cue, and it does it like 3 or 4 times. And thing is, though, her face never gives like that little like she don't look at the camera and go you know. No, it's literally just like. She's saying it normal, but the composer and director are like, listen, we want to make sure everybody knows that there's something up with her. Hit a music cue. It just seems so unnecessary to me. Like, I don't know, I'm watching that and I'm just like, really? What's that for? Like, I get it. She's probably going to be, you know, I don't know. But yeah, there was that. So, overall, I liked it. I really dug it. I highly recommend it. It's a bit slower than you're probably used to. If you want some crazy-ass, action-paced shit, I'm going to say wait till Underworld comes out. The new Underworld. That's probably more your speed. This one, definitely more slow burn, but just love the look of it, the style, love the story. Yeah, just overall, I just thought it was really cool. I'm leaving a lot of little stuff out, but once again, I don't want to just butcher it and, yeah, let you guys watch it yourself. But yeah, highly recommend it. Real good movie. Check it out. Up next, we got Ninja, the Violent Sorcerer. That's literally the title. That's literally the fucking title. It's Ninja, the Violent Sorcerer. And they're not even the same person. It's not even. It should be Ninja versus the Violent Sorcerer, or at the very least, throw a little fucking V in there. We'll go Batman v Superman with this shit, and go Ninja v the Violent Sorcerer. Nah, it's just Ninja the Violent Sorcerer. It makes me think that maybe the Ninja's the Violent, and that's not even accurate either because there's like more than one Ninja. And then the Violent Sorcerer's not even the Ninja. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But guess what? It's a Godfrey Ho movie. That's right, the guy, you know, I just reviewed his movie the last time I did my review on Diamond Ninja Force or whatever the fuck it was. And I was like, I want to watch more Godfrey Ho movies. What else has he done within the realm of horror? And I came across this one, and I'm like, you know what? We're fucking doing it. And I'm so glad I did. This movie's 1982, and the plot, oh, fucking bear with me on this one. Okay, so, this dude's like a gambler. Like, that's his job. He just goes around gambles, and, you know, he does high stakes, though. He'll gamble, you know, your property or your life. Like, that's really the main 2 stakes he plays for. He either wants your land, and if you ain't gonna give the land up, he'll play for your life. From what I can tell, it's so weird. Like, they play, like, an elimination round of dice. Like, where they just basically, like, each person takes a die, and they roll the die, and it's just high die wins. But it's like, it's the way they state it. It's like almost like they have like 2 groups here, and they're gonna play it back. You know, because every time someone beats the other person, they end up killing the other person. And I was like, all right, so it's gonna be like a Survivor Series elimination match kind of thing. But no, they just play like one hand each time, and they even make it seem like they're like, oh, we got the first win, but you have a shot next time or whatever. But they never do it next time. It just goes straight to like the sudden death card game, and it's usually between the main bad guy and whoever he's playing, they're just playing straight up poker. But anyway, so this guy's a gambler. However, he's got I don't know if he's violent or not. He's got a sorcerer, though, in his back pocket who is manipulating the dice, and he's also manipulating the cards. Because it shows him that he clearly doesn't have shit. He has dick with his cards. And then the sorcerer does this, and then in his cuts, he's like, oh, I got it straight. What do you know? And he wins. So, this guy he beats in the very beginning, the rules you have to go kill yourself. He don't even, make sure he follows through. He's like, alright, you're going to kill yourself, and they all just leave. And the guy goes home, and he's doing his final goodbyes or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, but whatever. And he kills himself. He ends up, I don't know if he shoots himself or hangs himself or stabs himself. I don't know. I can't remember. It's a lot of chaos in this movie. Oh my god, this movie is ridiculously paced, and there's so much shit going on. But anyway, so he kills himself, so they leave the son an orphan because I guess the mom died a few years before that. So the son, and he's he's not like a kid or anything. He's like probably late teens, early 20s, and so he's all alone now, right? So the ghost of the mother gives, and it's the boy's uncle. I'm not sure if it's the mother's brother or if it's the dad's brother. It don't matter. But she comes to him in a vision one night and tells him, like, hey, you need to go protect him and bring down that evil gambler. And it turns out another one shows up, another ninja as well, to help the brother-in-law or the uncle. And apparently he got a vision too, but we don't see that on screen because Godfrey Ho's like, fuck it, we need to get to the story. Plow forward. We don't need to explain shit. So you get these two guys, they're ninjas. And the funny thing about these guys is whenever they're fighting in street clothes, right? Bam, bam, bam! Kicks and shit. I'm too out of shape to get my leg up too high, but I'll just throw it up right there. Kicks and shit, right? They're doing karate. And then it will just, like the next cut, like the next part of the scene, there's two guys, he hits this guy, and then the next scene will be like a reverse shot, but now the guy is dressed up in like a ninja outfit. There was no transformation scene. He didn't go Power Rangers or anything. He didn't do the VR Trooper thing. He just automatically, between cuts, turns into a ninja. And his buddy's the same way. And it's funny, you'll see him fighting in regular street clothes, and then like, out of nowhere, they're ninjas, and you're like, alright, let's do this. So their mission is to bring down this, evil gambling warlord who's just buying up all the property and have people kill themselves. And the thing is, when the people don't kill themselves, like when the people are just like, ha, fuck you, I'm not killing myself, he sends the vampires after him. That's right, he sends the vampires. He's got an army of vampires. And the great thing is, this is Asian, so the vampires hop. The hopping vampires. Which I don't know why, I am fascinated. I don't know much about the hopping vampire, because I've seen him in maybe two or three other films. The only thing that seems consistent between the films is the fact they hop. Like, they have, like, in one movie I saw, like, they were blind, but they could smell and hear you. So, they had to be, like, really quiet, and they were, like, covering their scent with something. But then as soon as, like, the guy walked, the guy with his eyes closed was like, oh, you're over there, and he starts hopping after him. In this movie, they're not blind, they got their eyes open and shit. And they're, like, metal? Like, you don't see that they're metal, but every time the ninjas would fight them with the swords, they would hit them, and it's like clang, 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 clang. Because, we don't need visuals. We got sound effects. Thank you, Godfrey Ho. You're awesome. So anyway, that's the plot right there. We got an evil sorcerer and his army of vampires protecting this gambler. And that's all he wants to do. He just wants to gamble and, like, take over real estate. That's all this guy's trying to do. He has a sorcerer and these hopping vampires at his disposal, and he don't want world domination. He just wants to take over the town, make a few bucks, have some people killed in the process. That's it. That's all this guy's aspirations are. So our two ninja boys have to, like, team up to bring it down. So they end up getting the kid, and we'll call him a kid. He wasn't a kid, but the son, the orphan boy. They're like, hey, assemble a team. I'm like, well, why don't you guys fucking assemble a team? Like, who does he know that you guys don't? But whatever. He assembles a team. And it's funny because he assembles a team that don't do shit. Like, at all. Like, one guy they find, and he don't even find him. The fucking ninja find him now I'm thinking about it. So it's like, I don't know. But anyway, they find him as this barroom brawler, right? Like, he's in a bar just constantly causing chaos. And he's like, I'll join your cause. And he don't do nothing but, like, stand in the background. Like, most of them don't do shit. The only one that actually does anything is they end up getting the boy's father, who just had to kill himself, who was the boy's father's, like, former gambling partner. And, of course, now he's a drunken mess. And it's great because the way they say it is that he lost one game and became a drunk. Now, they don't specify if that one game he lost, if he lost his house and his land and his wife left him or whatever the case. Like, he had to end up giving his kids away in some kind of weird kid slave thing. No, they don't mention none of that. They literally just say he lost one hand and then turned to the bottle. And I'm like, okay, so did he actually lose that shit? Or was it literally like a friendly game of cards and he loses, like, fuck this, and he grabs a bottle and just starts pounding that shit, and it just ruined his life. I don't know. They don't specify, and they don't need to, because this movie's great. So, that's the whole thing. They set it up, and they're going to fight. So, the big showdown at the end is they're going to play cards, and, winner takes all, I guess, So, instead of playing, they do the dice thing first, and they do that whole thing, but then the next game is like, you think it's going to end with poker. And it's not. It's, in fact, they just get a deck of cards that are mixed together, like cards are shuffled together, but you have to separate them by suit and by number. So you got to make 4 separate piles. Clubs, spades, hearts, and diamonds. That's the game. Who can separate them the quickest? So this master gambler with his sorcerer, at his back, he's doing it really quickly, right? And it's so cheesy looking because he's just like tossing them, like literally just throwing them off camera. But then whenever the camera goes to the table, they're just perfectly piling up. And he does it like in 9 seconds, right? So the drunk guy, who's now sober, he's been sober for like 3 days now, but he looks haggard as fuck. He's shaking a little bit. And so after he, 9 seconds beat that, he goes, well, here, before you beat, he gives him like a bottle, right? Bottle of Jack. And of course, everybody gasps, like, no, you're 3 days sober, you don't need this. The guy picks it up, and of course, he shakes himself free from it, and he takes a drink. And I swear the haggardness goes away. Now he's confident. And he puts the cap back on the bottle, and then he does it. 8 seconds, beats him. And dude, and then they give him the bottle, like, you earned it. And he goes, nah. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. So while this is going on, the other 2 ninjas are just fighting vampires just randomly. Like, they just go to like random fields and vampires just show up and they fight them. That's what's breaking up the scenes with plot. It's just like, alright, what's going on over here? Oh, wait, back over here there's more zombies and vampires, or vampires and ninjas. Okay, we got some plot stuff happening. Oh, wait, ninjas fighting vampires and they're hopping around and shit. So, the bad guy has to kill himself, and it's funny because the camera is in like this empty room, because they're playing in the back room, and you hear the gunshot. And the good guys come out victorious, and then of course the henchmen are carrying their leader out, and of course he's got his main squeeze next to him, and she's just as evil and devious, like she's been carrying out some horrible stuff in this movie too. So they put him in the back of this car, and they're just driving down the road. So she's in the back seat, and then the bad guy with a bullet hole in his head apparently just dead, but he just wakes up and starts laughing, and she's freaking out. She was not in on this plan. She's like, what? And he's just like, huh, and he's wiping it off like it's just paint. And he's like, I faked my death. And I'm like, how did you fake your death when you was in a room across, like, you could have had a mini paintball gun, I guess, but this is like olden times. But whatever, he fakes his death, right? He's just like, and so now she's laughing, like, ha. And they're just driving down the road, he's wiping paint off, and then the car just blows up, right? I'm not making this up. This is beat for beat what happened in this scene. The car just blows up, and those 2 ninjas, they're like looking around the corner now, and they're like in town. Like they were literally like in the middle of like this enchanted forest earlier. Now they're like in town, and they're just like, we took care of that. Let's go fight the sorcerer. And I'm like, what? This is great. So they fight the sorcerer, they bring him down, and they win. This movie's fucking awesome, but for all the wrong reasons. If you are a fan of just horribly bad movies, like I'm a fan of bad movies that try to be good and they come off hilarious. I hate low budget movies that they know they're low budget, so then they try to like wink and have fun with the camera too. Like, hey, we know we're a bad movie and we're gonna make it worse. Those movies turn out like shit, like every time. I can't handle those kind of movies. But this movie's like trying to be a legitimate horror action combo, and it just fails on so many levels. But that's what makes it great. Love it. Right here on YouTube, check it out. The only complaint I have on this one was we didn't have the ridiculous American Ninja. Like, I just want to see that American Ninja guy from the last movie in all these movies because he's just fucking great. Less tits. We didn't have as much tits as we did in the other movie. But, you get something to lose some, so whatever. Highly enjoyed it. I'm a big fan. I'm looking for more Godfrey Ho stuff because I think it's brilliant. So, alright, that's all I got, guys. Thank you for watching. Until next time.